Welcome to Hacking the Hustle. This is your host, Benjamin Sklar, and I'm very excited to have Aaron Strauss on the podcast today. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm great. Thank you, Benji.
It's great to have you on the show. A quick background on Aaron. Aaron is the managing partner at AY Strauss, a leading commercial real estate law firm based in New York and New Jersey. And he's a great friend of mine, mentor. I really respect Aaron, and I'm excited and honored to have him on the show. So let's kick it off. Aaron, please tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into law and running your own law firm today.
Sure. Background is I grew up in New York, went to high school, college, law school, all in Manhattan. Started off my career becoming a lawyer. I was a journalism major undergrad, and I knew I wanted to get in commercial real estate. And I thought that being a real estate attorney would be a lot of fun, doing deals, transactions, managing transactions. And sure enough, it's been quite a ride. Fun may not be the best adjective, but it's been certainly an interesting ride. And I've been fortunate to have the career I've had. And after law school, then I worked for about 3 years at a large international firm based in New York. And subsequent to that, a large New Jersey firm for about 5.5 years. And in 2010, started my own firm, AY Strauss. So it's been about 11 years now in my own firm.
Wow, that's a great background. I'm curious, how is it different working for a firm versus starting your own and working for yourself and other partners that
That's a
you
great
recruited?
question. That's a great question. And honestly, as any business owner will tell you, whether their background is in law, finance, accounting, retail, it doesn't matter. Every day could be incredibly different in that you may have a different flow of work while you're working at a firm as an associate or just coming up in the ranks, but it's kind of stable. You have different things driving your calendar, different deadlines, different deals, which can be stressful. But the weekend comes, and if you're not working that weekend in big law, which oftentimes you are, you can shut down mentally. If you run your own business, whether it's service business, product business, or any business for that matter, you really essentially never truly shut down in the same way. So it's almost like a philosophical mental adjustment to be comfortable with the idea that you're never really going to turn it off 100%. It could be lowered at times, but you're managing a lot. You're not just managing the client work, you're managing recruiting, you're managing a pipeline for future business. You're constantly worrying about whether your clients are happy, whether your team members are happy. Am I doing a good job enough marketing? Am I retaining market share? Am I gaining market share? Am I losing market share? So the opportunity to really overthink and lose sleep is there. You have to fight very hard to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, essentially. I would say it that way.
I was going to ask you what's some advice you would have for someone about to start their own law firm, but I now want to ask you 20 years from now, what advice would you be giving yourself today?
It's a great question, and we'll see where I am in 20 years. But I think a lot of attorneys struggle with the sense of perfectionism. You go to law school and the written word is paramount, and every document you want perfect. And you sort of want to transpose onto the business side of law this idea of perfection. And lawyers are very conservative too. So you tend to overplan, overthink, and then something you couldn't plan for at all, good or bad, happens. So just basically being okay with the fact that whatever happens, you gave it your best, you gave it your all, and knowing that there's going to be ups and downs in every business cycle, in every business itself, and to never get too high or get too low. But regardless of whether you're crushing it that month or not, to retain, to the extent possible, a sense of equanimity and calm, given that there's only a certain number of things you can control, the rest you can't.
I'd like to open the hood of the truck of your law firm and see what's going on with the engine. And using that analogy, I'm curious, what's a myth you would like to debunk about running a law firm?
Well, I think the biggest myth is people say, oh, well, you have all these people working for you. And I guess technically, if you manage the firm, they're working for you as far as a direct report goes. But essentially, if you're managing part of a law firm, you're working for your people just as much as they're working for you. If I don't get out there and have conversations with key referral partners, with making sure clients are happy, if I don't put the hard work in relationship building day to day, then there's no work coming out of the back end on the business development pipeline. So I'm working for the greater betterment of the firm. It's not that I have a team that reports to me and I'm the boss. I'm really much in the weeds. I have a role to play within the business. I'm very responsible, and I'm under a lot of pressure to perform at a very high level day in, day out. So if you want to run your own firm and a successful firm at that, there's a lot of very, very poorly managed law firms. You really have to be committed to be all in. It's not a part-time type of business. Successful entrepreneurs, they may make it look easy, but they're working very hard.
Mhm. A lot of my listeners are fellow law students interested in getting into real estate law. Well, how would you recommend that they best serve their clients as real estate lawyers?
That's a great question. And essentially, the most successful real estate lawyers are those that can not get bogged down. Look, the attorney's job is very hard. On the one hand, they're paid to watch the minutia. They need to make sure those contracts are rock solid because their entire business is predicated on what if the parties sue each other and it goes to litigation? Well, you missed that paragraph, you're at fault. So you can't commit malpractice, to be clear. You need perfect documents to be clear. But the absolute best real estate attorneys will understand the technical aspects of the deal, but really, really strive to almost forget the technical jargon and treat their clients like human beings and talk to them about the business side of the deal, introduce them to potential business partners, understand that many, if not most, of the clients are really just assuming the contract is correct. It's just a point that you're assuming. They're not looking for a massive education. They have questions you need to respond to, and they certainly need to be educated on the points that straddle the line between business and law, and there's a lot of those points. But many, if not most, clients just want to know that you're going to be there when they call. You're going to be uber responsive. You're going to treat them with respect. You're going to watch the bill. You're going to protect them, and you're going to be, a business partner alongside with them right along the entire deal, whatever it may take.
I like that. So let's change topics and then let's talk about the market.
Sure.
Where's the puck going? What's going on, and where do you think the real estate market is going for the rest of 2021?
It's a great question. Well, I'm not much of a prognosticator, but I do talk to a lot of real estate owners, investors, and I see the deal flow that we're handling here just to tell you what we're doing at present. And just big picture, I can just indicate to you that obviously sector to sector, you don't have to hear it from me, but obviously certain sectors are hot, areas are hot. It's hard to say on the calendar year where things will shape out, but certainly multifamily in certain parts of the country is on fire. It's as if COVID and recession never happened. If anything, pricing has gone up due to cheap debt and other attributes in that, and the investor demand for such. But Southeast, Texas, Atlanta, Florida, we have literally hundreds of millions of dollars under contract in those markets, and it's just trading fast and furious. New York City, we've had very, very nominal deal flow. The entire city feels like it's in a deep slumber, although client called us to buy a building last week. I was pleasantly surprised. So it's really been a tale of two cities, a tale of two recoveries, a tale of two markets. And obviously, if you're in industrial, it's been red hot, grocery anchored retail. As far as the balance of the year goes, really hard to say. It's really hard to say, but based on our first quarter to date, what we're working on, I feel confident there'll be a deal flow. What the deal flow is and where it's coming from, I can't tell you anything more than that.
The billion-dollar question.
Sure.
Tell us about your firm. How is it structured, and and the different tiers of from associate to interns to partners? How do you break it down?
Sure. So today we have basically, like most law firms, we have a group of partners, we have a group of counsel, which are experienced attorneys who can handle work at a very complicated level. We have some junior associates, some mid-level associates, and on the support we have paralegal support, and we also have finance support. I think every law firm is different depending on maturity of the business. So obviously, big law is big law. They've been built over many decades, and they have an entire pipeline for every talent sector stage. And then you have firms just starting out, which often remain just one solo practitioner who does everything between the billing and the processing of all the work and the doing the work and selling the work. And we're in the stage of growth. So we're trying to layer on infrastructure to be able to grow more. So we are constantly recruiting associate level talent, we're recruiting partner level talent, and we're recruiting operational talent all at the same time, which you can imagine is very challenging, but it's the entire game. We're in the people business. And if you're not talking to great people, guess what? You don't have a business.
I like that a lot. So for the last quarter of the podcast, I'm going to do a fire round with you. So I'm going to throw you questions and you'll have to respond. So first one, what is your favorite book?
The Count of Monte Cristo.
Why is that?
One of the most incredible stories ever told.
All right. What is your go-to podcast right now?
The Benjamin Sklar Hustle podcast.
I love that. Hacking the Hustle. Yeah. I think I'm about to change the podcast, Aaron. I think I'm about to change my entire vibe, my brand, my mindset, and go all in on real estate. Because right now I'm startups, VC, business development, sales as a service, real estate. But I think all that, everything else is a distraction. And I just need to focus on one thing. And so hopefully you'll be hearing from me.
Great.
Yeah. So last signature question. If there was one thing you could do to improve this world, what would it be and why?
Oh, it's a great question and a deep philosophical question. If I could get a message into the world about empathy, if really trying to see the world through somebody else's eyes, if more people could be empathetic, and there could be schools of thought which could teach empathy, I think it would help solve. It wouldn't solve overnight, but it would help solve problems over time. It's a real buzzword people throw out, and I'm not saying I'm very talented at it, but if you can walk in somebody else's shoes and really try to see the world from what they're going through, and you can educate other people to see the world in that vein, I think you can bring people closer together and create bridges of mutual understanding and potentially, reduce senses of friction.
Well said. How would you go about doing that?
I don't know. Honestly, maybe you'd make it a course curriculum. Maybe you'd become a podcast expert in it. I don't know. But I just see that in my day-to-day dealings in work and life and business that if you can really try to walk in somebody's shoes, you have hope to really see the world in their way, and you can negotiate better, and you can understand them better, you can collaborate better, and you can really trust one another at a higher level, which is more meaningful.
Very nice. Before you go, if anyone's listening who has a need to speak with a real estate lawyer, maybe they're doing a fix and flip, BRRRR, buy and hold, buying their first house or their first multifamily property, how would you recommend they reach out to you?
Well, first of all, to be clear, we're not going to do residential deals because we bill hourly, so we may be more expensive for those guys. But I will pick up my call any day or night for anybody who wants to talk about real estate or anything for that matter. So anybody can email me at ays@aystrauss.com, and happy to speak to anybody. That would make sense, and if I can help them in any way, I will.
Thanks so much, Aaron. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your time, and I'll let you know when this goes live, and you'll have it in the records books forever.
Thanks, Benji. It's been fantastic hanging out with you as always. I love the energy you bring, and it's a fun podcast. So thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. All right, see you, Aaron.
Sure,
Have a
talk to you
great
later.
day.